Last year you were at the Next Web conference, and you
Hmm.
spoke about weaving and connecting and all the stuff you want to do online. And I'm sure you tell a lot of people, small business owners, you should get online and start blogging or twittering. Or is that what you do? Because you're a consultant, you speak to a lot of companies.
Uh, well, well, right now I'm doing two things. I do still work with startups and advise them on sort of social software and what's going on in that space. But my big project, which I'm about to kick off, is I'm actually working on kicking off a social media innovation lab for Procter & Gamble, testing out a lot of the social media tools and how the future of how companies and customers are going to communicate. So it's not simply about advertising. It's about all this being out there, living on the nodes and the weaving that I talk about. So instead of everyone thinking about the web the way we did 10 years ago, let's think about it not about the technology, but about how people are living, breathing, behaving in the world today, and how technology enables them to connect, like you and I are doing, across a couple of oceans right now, and how it enhances our lives and brings people together.
Right, right. Because normally you blog a lot, and I was kind of surprised that you wrote on your blog. I think you said doing has taken front seat to writing of late. I mean,
Yes.
what's going on here? You're the communicator, the weaver, and you're saying,
Uh,
doing, getting stuff done. You're not blogging.
yes.
What's happening?
Yes. Well, I felt bad that like a week had gone by and I hadn't blogged. So I
Yeah,
thought, I want, I think a lot of us are living in this information overload period and are changing our behavior about where we are communicating. So it's not that I'm not communicating. I think I'm using multiple different tools to do it. And so that my long form blog posts have been a little bit usurped by sort of more stream of consciousness over on Twitter in one sense. So I'm constantly communicating, but I think that there's being, communicating, weaving, and then there's taking a step back to sort of take a break and analyze
right.
and think bigger picture thoughts. And I like to use my blog for that. And I think in the past, the past few years, the blog was the only tool we had to communicate sort of one to many in that way. And now we have a couple of different ways. So I think it's morphing. I think one of my big bugaboos of late is I hate when people sort of lump bloggers into one category. I mean, there's no such thing. A blog is a tool, and people choose to communicate and use a blog tool for very different ways. Am I a phoner because I'm using a phone?
What? No, that's not a phone. It's one of my daughters. She's screaming. It's an
No, no, no,
attention
no, no.
thing.
I was saying, am I a phoner because I use the phone? I'm
Oh,
not a
okay.
blogger because I use a blog.
Right,
So
right.
I
Okay.
think that the tools are changing, so the way that we communicate is changing. So I wrestled with putting that post up, but I want people to know, oh, I'm still out here and thinking, but I'm doing some stuff over here and some stuff over here. And the
Yeah.
doing that I'm doing right now is, can I say hello?
Yeah, sure. This is Faye.
Hi.
Hi.
What's her name?
It's Faye. Like
Hi,
Faye Dunaway.
Faye. Hi, Faye. Bye, Faye. I'm Deb. Oh, she's adorable. I didn't get to meet her when I was there. I'll have to meet her next time.
Yeah, well, you will.
Oh, I got a big smile.
Yeah. But this kind of interferes with the interview, but who cares,
That's
right?
okay. That's okay. We can sort of get going and you can chop it.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
she's
it's
so
okay.
cute. Anyway, I have like 5 minutes left.
Okay, that's fine.
But
So, so just want to ask you a quick question. Did you read about the whole Robert Scoble thing and Facebook this week about how he tried to
no,
get
what
his?
happened?
Okay, so what he did was.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
damn. Yeah. Okay. So what's your position? What do you think? What's your opinion? Because this is something you would have blogged about in the past, but now you're
Yes, yes, yes,
twittering
yes.
and consulting and making money all over the place, and you're not
Oh,
blogging. So
no, no. I am blogging. Don't tell people I'm not blogging. I'm blogging. I took a
no,
week
no, you
to,
stopped. You stopped.
I did not stop. I am out meeting with companies. I will write about them when I take a break. I'm, I think that, when I think about it, I think that it demonstrates the challenges of the open social web. And I think as we talk a good talk about, portability and, not living in walled gardens, we have to balance that with respect for different companies. So I think that it's sort of the Wild West on those rules, and I think, scraping sites is not the way to go about doing it. I don't think that was appropriate. I think, ironically, a lot of the brouhaha about it could have been avoided if there had been a little upfront communication between the two sides. But I think, if I'm using Facebook and they have a closed platform, until they decide to let me pull out the information, I have to abide by those rules. I can choose or not to be in there. I don't think that Robert was trying to break any rules. I think it's good to push boundaries, and look what happened. Facebook and Google are now, joined, and Plaxo joined the data portability, consortium. So I think the bigger question about it is I think 2008, it started in 2007, but it's obviously going to register on a larger screen, is who owns my data? Where does my data live? And how is it being used? And how can I move that from place to place? I like to look at a lot of these tools from the individual customer's point of view, and we're all early adopters, and I know that we think this stuff is really easy to get, but it's much too confusing. So I want to make sure that people who aren't as geeky and techie understand what they're doing and what the implications are and what they can and can't do with it. And I'm also really tired of having to re-input my data in 10 different places. So what's the right balance, and what's the right way for companies to share that information? Not to just make the world noisier with more information, but to make my life more functional and easier. So.
Well, thanks a lot. So you're a guest on the Video Friday video for the Next Web blog. So just, to finish off, because I know you're in a hurry, is there anything you want to say to our readers?
I would like to say to the readers that I am often and always curious to hear what's coming out of Europe, because I think we can get a little myopic here in Silicon Valley land. And I'm interested in hearing about new companies and new ways people are using tools. I think the more and more I play in this space, I consider myself sort of a digital ethnographer. So I think it's kind of fun to see what's happening, and I'd love to hear about new things happening out at the edges, as my friend Umair likes to talk about. And stay tuned for more on my blog, because you will see more. And as well as I'll be probably doing some more video stuff in the future, and ensuring that brands don't poison the water with all of our social media tools and make the place a better place. Because the dirty little secret of Web 2.0 is that we all say that all this stuff is great and free, but someone has to pay for it. But let's make sure they pay for it the right way and not the wrong way.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. And I'll talk to you soon again in an interview.
Thank you, Boris. Bye, Faye.
Bye.
Ciao.